start of October, everyone. In today's video, we're gonna kind of ease into the spooky month with a video that wouldn't necessarily have to be, completed for Halloween, and it's going to be this little pair of snake earrings, which I actually made not for October, but I never got around for uploading the video, and I thought, you know what, these could be Halloween, if you're gonna do like a Medusa costume, or even if just snakes are on the edge for you and you're like, you know what, that's a Halloween thing. So we've got these adorable little snake earrings, and I figured we're gonna start out the month with 2 jewelry items. So come back in a couple days for this adorable pumpkin necklace with a big surprise that you will see in a couple days. So come back for that one. Otherwise, I hope you like this snake earring. It's all gel, so there's no acrylic, and I will see you in a few days. Bye.
So I made a mistake when I said all gel. There is a little bit of acrylic, but it could be all gel. So bear with me. So I've got some 4D gel. This is a very thick moldable gel that has a texture of Play-Doh, and I'm going to scoop out a pretty sizable amount of it. I've got gloves on. You don't want to touch any kind of gel with your skin, so I'm going to definitely wear my gloves. I'm going to grab 2 actual big clumps of it, and I'm going to try to get them to be about the same size. We're making earrings, so we want them to be symmetrical. So I'm going to just look at them, try to make sure if you roll them into balls, that's a good way to tell if it's about the same size. Then I'm going to roll each one into a long snake. We actually get to make a long snake into a snake. Try to keep it from cracking. The one thing with 4D gel is that it does tend to want to break into pieces when you do roll it out long and skinny like this, especially a bigger piece. So take your time, do it nice and slow. After you have your snake into a long snake, grab a piece of tulle. This is fabric. A lot of times it's used in nail art to press into acrylic. This time we're going to imprint our gel. Then you're going to roll your snake into a coiled little snake shape, and then you're going to set it onto your earring piece. So I bought these little earring blanks from Hobby Lobby, but you can get earring findings at Michael's, Joann's, various craft stores. Depending on the country that you're in, you'll just have to figure out what craft store might have them. After you get your snake onto your earring, you may find that you have to re-press your tulle onto your snake because some of the imprinting may have kind of gone away. Now here's where I started to use my acrylic. There's a few places where I wanted the snake to go up and around the earring, mainly to get it to be a little more secure. And this is where I'm going to be grabbing my acrylic. Again, you could definitely have just continued to use gel for this. I would have used ACRYGEL instead of the 4D gel at this point. So if you are a gel person all the way, don't use acrylic here, use ACRYGEL because you certainly could. I am an acrylic person, so here we are using acrylic on a gel-only intention. So, that's just kind of my style. But there we are. So I'm going to take the acrylic, and I continued the end of the snake on the one side and kind of like tucked it up and around the bar of the earring. And then I'm going to tuck it into the coil of my snake so that it looks like it's going through. And then I'm going to add the head in the middle of the coil on the center of the earring on the other side. So I'm going to sculpt the head with acrylic. Same thing though, if you are using gel only, this is where you would switch to your ACRYGEL. Sculpt the head of your snake in a fairly almost triangular shape with more of a flatter nose. If you are making a specific species of snake, this is where you're going to want to look at some photos, make sure that you are grabbing all of the details you can. I'm going to take smaller bits of acrylic or gel, and I'm going to be adding the little bumps on the side of my snake's head about on think of this more of as like a diamond shape. On the outer corners of your diamond, this is where your snake's eye sockets are, so make those little extra bumps right on those outer corners. And then after you have those little extra bumps, you can do the same thing for nostrils on the end of your snake's nose. This is a situation where it kind of depends on the species of your snake. So if you do want to be very specific about one over the other, you may want to check your reference photos to see how the end of your snake's nose looks. Some snakes have more of like that really defined back of the head look. So I'm going to add a little bit more on the back of my snake's head. This is where it gets to be more triangular versus that diamond shape, because I'm going to continue those outer lines kind of going up. And then after I have that, I'm going to take more clear acrylic. Again, ACRYGEL is a perfectly fine option if that's what you're using. And I'm going to add some more reinforcement behind each of those places where the snake touches my earring. So basically those little spots on the back, just add a little bit of more nail product so that it holds on tight. And now using gel paint, I'm going to be painting over my snake. I'm using a very bright green because I want these earrings to be neon, and I'm going to cover all of the white gel and white acrylic, and I'm going to very carefully not paint the earring. As you are painting over this, I'm using gel paint, so it does not require a top coat. If your gel paint does require a top coat, you will have to top coat it, of course. And I am going to end up using some flakes that require top coat later, so I guess that point is somewhat moot. But the idea is not to add too many layers on top of your snake, because that will sort of smooth in that layer of texture that we did with the tool. So you don't want to cover up that texture. So try to push your gel paint into the texture. Don't float it over the top like you would normally with gel polish. Really push it in with your brush. So use a stiffer brush than you may normally. That brush I'm using is the application brush from Madam Glam, which actually has a very nice stiffness. I really like it for applying gel color to a nail or to this kind of a situation because it does actually press it in, which in this circumstance is a good thing. Now I'm going to take a darker shade of gel, and this is a very, very small amount on my brush. It's basically a dry brush, and I'm going to run it just very gently over the top of my snake. This is going to just grab the very tops of those scales that we imprinted and not go into the indents of the scales. This is going to help bring that texture out again. So we're just trying to keep that texture. We're trying to, bring the texture out a little bit more by adding that. Now taking that darker shade of gel, that's even darker, I mixed a little bit more black into it. I'm going to add some shading around the coils on my snake just to kind of bring them out a little bit more, make them a little bit more defined, make them a little bit more easy to see, because right now from a distance he's going to look like a green blob. He's not going to look like a snake, and we want earrings to be able to be viewed from a distance and be obvious what they are. I'm going to take some black and I'm going to add a little bit more detail around mainly the snake's face. Outline the eyes for sure, anywhere on the mouth if you want to, and then just the back of the head just to make sure that you can tell that the snake's head is coming out of that area. If any of those places that you want to, you can blend those out, especially at the back of the head. I'm going to take some chrome flakes and I'm going to just tap those on, make my snake a little bit shiny. That's optional. It does sort of get rid of a little bit of the texture, but it does add a really nice effect. So it's kind of up to you. Apply top coat if you did use chrome flakes. If you didn't and your gel polish or your gel paint doesn't require top coat, you don't need to. Here are the earrings that I'm going to be using. These ones are actually really nice ones. I use a lot of really poor jewelry findings for myself because it doesn't matter for me, but these are some nice ones. So I'm going to gently open them and kind of push that little spring and the little bead up a little bit to get them out of the way. Then this is a really simple process because these ones don't require much. This earring base that I have is already got the hoop on it. I'm just going to hook it through. I'm going to open that up just a little bit more because I couldn't quite get it to fit on. Sometimes my earring attachment or my jewelry, like the last step, actually putting everything together, is a lot more complicated. However, for this one, it's pretty simple. After I've got that little loop opened with my pliers, I'm going to twist that back closed. And then I'm going to take my other pliers and make sure that bead gets out of the way. The nice thing about the bead is that after it does get closed, the little loop at the end of the earring gets closed, it holds it shut and it keeps anything from coming because it kind of falls down over the opening. However, it does kind of get in the way as you are trying to close it, especially if you've got longer nails like me. There we go, got it closed. All right, and there we have it. That's it for these earrings. I absolutely love them. Like I said, if you are going to be, say, wearing a Medusa costume, these are perfect. I would love to see how your snake earrings turn out if you do decide to make a recreation of them. Any kind of cool earrings, I would love to see them, especially if you make them out of nail products. Absolutely, send them my way. I'd love to see what kind of ingenuity you have to share with me. And don't forget to stick around for all of October. I know I've been absent lately, but I do plan to really be here for October because who wouldn't be? It's October, it's fabulous, and I will see you all next time. Bye.